My 34th birthday was supposed to be a night of pure joy. A simple celebration at home, surrounded by friends, family, music, and laughter. I spent the whole week preparing, cleaning the house, buying decorations, planning the food. My wife, Emily, took charge of the invitations, the playlist, and the little details. She smiled and said, "I want this to be a night you'll never forget." She was right, but not in the way I ever wanted. The house looked beautiful that evening. Warm lights glowed everywhere. Guests arrived with smiles and hugs. For the first hour, everything felt perfect. I walked around, laughing, thanking people for coming. Emily looked stunning in her dark blue dress. She moved through the crowd like she was born for the spotlight, laughing, chatting, pouring drinks, making sure everyone felt welcome. I watched her and felt so proud. This was my wife. This was our life. Then he walked in. Jason, her ex-boyfriend from years ago. He stepped through the door confident, smiling like he belonged. My stomach twisted into a knot. Emily had told me it was an accident. She'd invited him by mistake, or so she said. She promised it was nothing, they were just old friends now. I wanted to believe her. I trusted her. So I pushed the unease down and tried to enjoy the night, but as the music got softer and someone called for slow dances, the room filled with couples swaying gently. I was talking to a couple of friends when I noticed Emily wasn't beside me anymore. I looked around, and my world stopped. There she was, in the center of the living room, dancing with Jason. Not just dancing, holding him close. His hands on her waist. Her arms around his neck. Her head tilted toward him the exact way she used to tilt it toward me, the way she looked at me when we first fell in love. My heart sank so hard I couldn't breathe. It was my birthday. My home. My wife. And she was in another man's arms. Guests pretended not to see. Some whispered. Others looked away, uncomfortable. I heard someone quietly say, "Isn't that his wife?" Emily kept smiling. Kept dancing. As if I wasn't even there. When the song ended, she didn't come back to me. She laughed at something he said and kept her hand on his arm. That was the moment everything changed inside me. Not rage. Not tears. Just clarity. I didn't yell. I didn't make a scene. I didn't ask a single question. I simply walked down the hallway, picked up my keys, and left my own birthday party without a word to anyone. The cold night air hit my face like a wake-up call. Strangely, it felt like relief. I drove aimlessly, no screaming, no crying, just silence. The humiliation was too heavy to feel all at once. I pulled over by a quiet lake, sat on a bench, and stared at the dark water. My reflection looked back at me like a stranger. How had I become the man whose wife danced with her ex while everyone watched? About half an hour later, my phone lit up with calls and texts. Friends. Family. Then Emily. I ignored them all, until a message from my best friend, Mark. "Bro, you need to come back. Something just happened. You're going to want to hear this." My chest tightened. I turned the car around. When I walked back in, the party was chaos. People were arguing. Emily was crying. Jason was gone. Everyone stared at me with wide, pitying eyes. Mark pulled me aside. "After you left," he said quietly, "Jason tried to kiss her right there in front of everyone. She slapped him so hard the music stopped." I stared at him. What? She slapped him. Then she started yelling that she never wanted him there. But it gets worse. Mark told me another guest had overheard Jason bragging earlier. He said Emily had been calling him for weeks, telling him she was unhappy, hinting she might want him back. He even claimed she invited him on purpose. When he tried to kiss her, he shouted loudly, "You said you missed me." Half the party heard it. That's when everything exploded. Emily broke down, sobbing, begging people to believe her. But the damage was done. Everyone had seen the dance. Everyone had seen me walk out. Now they saw her fall apart. She finally came to me, mascara running down her face. "Please don't leave," she whispered. I didn't mean for any of this. I looked at her calmly. I didn't shout. I didn't curse. I asked one simple question. If I hadn't walked out, would you have stopped dancing with him? She froze. No words. No excuses. Just silence. That silence told me everything. I walked past her and started gathering my things. She grabbed my arm, sobbing, apologizing, saying it was just a dance, that she never meant to hurt me, but all I could see was how her smile only disappeared when she realized I was leaving. Not while she was in his arms. Not before. Only when the consequences arrived. I said quietly, "What you did tonight wasn't a mistake. It was a reveal." Those words broke her. She collapsed onto the couch, crying uncontrollably while guests stood awkwardly around us. Some tried to comfort her. Others whispered to me that I deserved better. For the first time in years, I believed them. I didn't go home that night. I stayed with Mark. Emily called and texted until 4 in the morning, voicemails full of regret, excuses, and desperation. But the truth was painfully clear. She had wanted attention. Validation. A thrill. And she got it, just not the way she planned. By morning, I knew what I had to do. I needed space. I needed clarity. I needed respect, something she hadn't given me in a very long time. Days later, she admitted the truth. Seeing Jason made her feel young again. She'd fantasized about it. She'd been reckless. But recklessness that costs your partner's dignity isn't harmless. It's betrayal. Today, we're separated. Every year when my birthday comes around, I remember that night. The night she chose to dance with her past, and I chose to walk toward my future. And I've never looked back.